Hello and welcome to Goose Live. I'm your host, Charlie Stivers, also publisher of Goose Magazine. And in today's episode, you're going to want to tune in for this one for sure and hang on to the end because we are interviewing the King of Referrals. How can you increase your business through digital referrals and in-person referrals? So we're going to jump into this and kind of see how you can increase your business, get leads, and form better relationships. And we'll be right back after this. Welcome back to Goose Live. Charlie Stivers here. And in today's episode, we get to meet with the King of Referrals and how can we increase our business both digitally and in person. So I want to introduce our guest, Brandon Barnum with HOA.com and ravingreferrals.com. Brandon is the CEO of HOA, which is revolutionizing the home associations and connecting homeowners to professionals they can trust. Brandon also serves as chairman of the consulting company Champions Dentists, which empowers dental practices through transformational training and coaching. Brandon is the author of the #1 bestseller, Raving Referrals and Raving Referrals for Dentists. He is a highly sought after expert in referrals, joint ventures, and business growth. Welcome to the show, Brandon.
All right, Charlie, thanks for having me.
Awesome. Excited to have you here today. Why don't we get into it and let's talk about referrals. So what kind of prompted you to focus on referrals?
Well, it's where I started. The reality is when I was in my 20s, I got custody of my son. I was a single dad at the age of 24, and I was only making about $20,000 a year. And I had to make a change because I couldn't afford to pay for my son's daycare and pay my mortgage. And I found out because I kept getting these NSF checks, my checks kept bouncing for my mortgage. So I got into the mortgage business, and within 18 months, I was able to 10x my income from $20,000 a year to $200,000 a year, thanks to the power of referrals. And I went on to do over $500 million in transactions by referral. And then I've just been on a mission to help everybody transform their life by using referrals.
That's awesome. Cool story. So what are some of your favorite tips and tricks to get referrals the quickest and the fastest?
Well, the fastest way is to actually ask for them. A lot of people don't ask. They don't feel comfortable asking. So we teach the art of the ask, which is really an easy 3-step process. And basically when you're meeting with a new client, and it depends on the business that you're in, right? I came from the mortgage space. So this works for realtors, financial advisors, insurance agents, anybody in the B2B world, and quite frankly, anybody who's in professional services, more so than products, but you can apply it to products too. But basically, it's 3 steps. Number 1, setting the stage. Number 2, listening for the referral triggers. And then number 3, you ASK to GET. So let's just unpack those and break those down. When you've got a new client that's come on board, they've hired you for their service, what you want to do in that first meeting, before you let them walk out of your office or you close the Zoom session or you hang up the phone, you just say, before I let you go, I have a favor to ask. Now, I'm committed to helping you get an amazing result through our service. Would it be okay if once I've proven myself to you and we've wowed you with our service and the results that we promise, would it be okay if I ask you for referrals at a later date? Now, the beautiful thing about that, Charlie, is you're not putting them on the spot. Like, they're not on the hot seat. You're not asking them for anything right now. You're basically saying, I'm going to wow you with the service that I provide. And when I do, I'd like to earn the right to ask for referrals. And because you're asking in the future, what do you think people are going to say to that, Charlie?
Yeah, sounds good. Who do you want to talk to?
Yeah, and absolutely, because you're not really making them uncomfortable. And you're right. Sometimes you're going to get referrals right then. Other times they're going to say, yeah, that'd be fine. And now you've planted seeds so that once you hear the referral triggers, that's step 2, right? So 1, setting the stage. Step 2 is listening for the referral triggers. And the referral triggers is, wow, Charlie, this looks great. Man, in the crypto space, man, I've made so much money. I can't believe it. Or I'm so excited. This has made such a difference in my life. Once you hear that expression of appreciation, that thank you or that wow, that's when you want to ask to get referrals. And you basically say, I'm so glad you feel that way. Remember early on, I told you I was going to wow you with our service. Well, now that you have experienced it for yourself, I'd love to help you help others get the same returns, get the same results, whatever it is that you do for your business. So that's the art of the ask. Set the stage, listen for the triggers, and then ASK to GET.
So you're an author, and many in our audience are wanting to be authors or are authors already. What kind of led you to become an author, write a book, Raving Referrals?
Well, so for me, it was all about our community. I recognize that I've got all this knowledge. I know how to, make millions, hundreds of millions of dollars through referrals. But a lot of the people that we support through HOA.com or just out in the world, they haven't figured it out yet. They didn't have a mentor like I did that taught me the art and the science and helped me change my life. So that's what I want to do. I want to pay it forward. I want to pass on that wisdom. I really wrote it initially for the people at HOA.com, our professionals that we serve, our professionals who serve homeowners. So again, that's realtors, mortgage lenders, insurance agents, financial planners, painters, plumbers, and all of the other home service guys. So I wrote it for them so that they would know how to build a strong business that just gives them a steady flood of referrals for their company.
So along the way, we all learn from mistakes. Do you have any memorable or favorite, if you want to call it that, referral failures?
Oh yeah, man. One of my biggest was, I remember when I had a mortgage company back in the late 90s, early 2000s. And I had a client that called me up one day, and this was a really big client. Like, he had done 5 loans with me, and he was a vice president for Intel. So this was like an influential guy. He had been referred to me from one of my best realtors, and he calls me up one day and he said, "Hey, Brandon, I just want to check in. How's things going with Mike Evans?" Right? Or whatever the client's name. I'm just going to use that name.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said, "Oh, things are going great, John. I'm glad you asked. We just closed on his refinance 2 weeks ago." And there was this long, kind of awkward, uncomfortable pause. And he says, "Do you mind if I give you a little bit of coaching?" And I said, "Yeah, of course. I'd love coaching." And he says 2 things. Number 1, it's a really good idea to thank people that give you referrals. And I'm like, oh my gosh, of course it is. I can't believe I didn't do that. Number 2, he says, it's also a good idea to update them when they give you referrals, and let them know what's going on with your clients. And dude, there was just a sinking feeling in my stomach. I felt like an absolute moron, an idiot, because here was this VIP client and referral source. He had referred me other clients, and yet I hadn't honored him by, number one, thanking him for giving me the referral, and number two, letting him know what happened with that client. And so as soon as that happened, I immediately had thank you cards printed up for each of my loan officers. I had about 30 loan officers working for me at the time. And literally, I printed these thank you cards so each of my loan officers could just write in the name of the person that the party had referred and instantly send them a thank you card. And then I taught them, hey guys, we got to follow up. We got to do a better job of getting back to people and letting them know what happens with the people they refer.
Yeah, good touch there. I think we all are in gratitude for referrals, but sometimes in our busy lives, we just forget. So
It's huge, Charlie. Before we move on, I just want to reinforce that, because how many times have you referred somebody to somebody else, and then you meet that person that you gave that referral to, and or say it's a client. Maybe you've got a client and you introduce a client to a professional, and then you meet with the client later on and you say, hey, how did it go with, Susie Smith? And they say, oh my gosh, they never even called me back. And your reputation's on the risk. And so that's why following up and following through is so important.
yeah, great. And then, referrals is part of the sales process. What's your favorite part of sales, or what are other tips and tricks for the sales? We've had other salespeople on here before, but what's your take on sales?
Well, I mean, the science, the research about referrals is pretty outstanding. If those of you who are listening, if you are in B2B sales, you sell to business owners, 84% of all B2B sales start with a referral, because it all comes down to trust. And there's been a lot of research done in this world. They say that 90% of human beings trust recommendations from people we know. And that's why when you get a referred prospect to you, they're 400% more likely to hire you than if they just found you on the web or on social media, because the trust factor is so much higher. Now, while all that's true, here's the downside. Ivan Meisner, who created BNI, the networking organization, he says 98% of businesses rely on referrals, but only 3% have a system for referrals. So we actually teach something we call the referral score quiz. And there's 10 referral best practices, and you can go to referralscorequiz.com. It'll take you less than 2 minutes to take this quiz for yourself. And what you're going to do is you're going to answer on a scale of 1 to 10 how you rate. So you're going to rate yourself on the 10 referral best practices. And what we find is usually there's a couple that people aren't even thinking about. It's like not even on their radar. So it's powerful, and it'll help you see some blind spots and gaps in your business. So check out referralscorequiz.com.
Nice one there. So, and speaking of like these digital outlets that we all have access to, so two-part question, like what are some of your tips for these introductions to top professionals? And are you like utilizing, LinkedIn is probably the worst and the best at the same time, but even Facebook or text, email, what are some of your strategies there that you prefer?
Yeah, so I use LinkedIn myself. I'm not on the other social streams very much. That's just I don't have busy time. I'm running a company. So for me, I use LinkedIn strategically because I can get to executives. And so that's what I find most valuable. But as far as promoting your business, it's super important that you're using all the different social channels. And we teach in the Raving Referrals book and process, there are 21 co-marketing campaigns. So a lot of the book is about referral partnerships. And what's amazing to me is 79%, we've surveyed thousands of people, 79% of people said that they have between 0 and 2 referral partners who send them at least one prospect every 90 days. And what that means is they're out there building their business by themselves, and they're not tapping into the power and the profit of partnerships. So that's really a big thing. Just yesterday, for example, our company, we just finalized a partnership with care.com. They have almost 1 million caregivers on their platform and 4 million homeowners that trust them. And what they do is they provide daycare services, babysitting, elder care, pet sitting, and house cleaning services. So for us at HOA.com, that's a perfect partnership, right? We're going to integrate into our technology, our ecosystem, their professionals, so that people can find vetted caregivers that have had background checks done for them, right? So those are the types of partnerships that I look at. I was just on yesterday with the CEO of the largest property management franchise in the US. So I build my business through partnerships, but even when I was a mortgage loan officer, it was the same thing, except then it wasn't national or global partnerships. It was hyper local partnerships, partnering with people who are serving your ideal prospect every single day, and then add as much value to them as you can. Feature them on your social media, give them a shout out, go live, right? Write a rating and review, a testimonial for them. Whatever you can do to help promote them and give them value, the more you give to them, the more you'll receive from them.
I love that. One of the things when that comes to mind when you mention partnerships is this law of reciprocity. I remember back in my early networking days, the easiest way to get a referral is to give a referral. And
you got it.
Sometimes that can be pretty challenging, depending, like if you're, like for me, regionally, I know an HVAC guy, yeah, maybe once a year or twice a year, I'll refer them, but it's not as easy as like an insurance agent or a real estate agent. Like, what do you recommend for people who maybe don't feel like they're equally sharing referrals?
Well, I think it's the giver's gain strategy. You just talked about it, right? Best way to receive referrals is to give them. And just like your HVAC example, you could literally do a Facebook post and say, hey, I was just talking to somebody who had a great experience, or get a testimonial from him or her, not to be sexist, but from that company, that you can then post, hey, I just heard a great success story for Heavenly HVAC or whatever the company's name is. Is anyone looking to do a tune-up for the summer or the winter or whatever it is? And you can literally post about them, so that even if you don't have a referral to give them right now, you can ask your social sphere, your community, if anybody is needing those services. Your partner's going to see that you're promoting them. And even if that doesn't lead to business right now, you're giving them credibility, you're giving them exposure, you're giving them promotion. So that's a great way that you can help your partners, even if you don't have somebody to refer them in this minute.
So, and I remember, in past discussions with you, talking about like an appreciation challenge. That sounds like a really cool idea, maybe an interesting way to build your referral network. Can you tell us more about your appreciation challenge?
The appreciation challenge is awesome. In fact, I recommend each and every one of you that's listening, do this right now. Okay. Take about the top 3 to 5 people that you want to be doing more business with. And then pick out your phone, look in your contacts, and then send them a quick text message. The most powerful way to do it is a video, and just record a quick video and then shoot it over to them and say, hey, Charlie, somebody just asked me, like, who in my life has made a big difference? And I thought of you, or whatever the question is. So, I was just thinking about the people that I really appreciate, and I haven't talked to you for a long time. And I just want to let you know how much I appreciate you. And it can be as simple as that. And it can be a text message or a video message. In video, they really get to feel your spirit, right? They feel the love. And that's why, a quick 30-second video can do wonders for your relationship. But what's amazing is if you follow up with some people that you haven't reached out to a while, and maybe they've given you referrals in the past, or you want to formalize a partnership with them, and you just start with appreciation, you'll be amazed what comes back to you when you do that. So the other thing, Charlie, is when it comes to referral partnerships, we always tell people there's really 3 types of people that you want to think about formalizing a referral partnership with. Number 1, think about who you refer business to, right? Who are your clients coming to you and saying, hey, do you know anybody who does this? So number 1, who do you send business to that maybe you really haven't formalized a referral partnership and created a plan of how you're going to grow your businesses together? We call that the referral partner blueprint, and you can go to hoa.com/blueprint and download this free guide, and it's really helpful. So it starts with the people that you're sending business to, number 1. Second is who's already sending business to you that you want to create a referral partner blueprint with, an agreement about how you're each going to help each other grow your businesses together. So who do you refer business to? Who refers business to you? And who do you know in your contacts, in your social sphere that is in the same industry? Okay, they're in a complementary industry, meaning that they serve homeowners or they serve business owners. Whatever it is that you focus on as your ideal perfect prospect, there's people that are already serving them, and you want to partner with them because they're going to have clients come to them saying, hey, who do you know that does crypto, for example, to use you as an example, Charlie, right? Who could help me? I want to add a crypto coin into my company. I want to add a referral rewards program, and who can help me with that? And just by you empowering the people that serve business owners, for example, you end up getting more business.
And then since we're focused on like digital campaigns and solutions, what are some of your like cross promotion ideas that you can do in teaming up with a good referral partner?
Well, there's 21 that we teach, and you can't really see them here, but if you go to hoa.com/blueprint, you'll see all 21. One is doing exactly what we're doing right here, Charlie, is if you've got a podcast, or you can even go live. Maybe you haven't started your own podcast, but if you do have a podcast, invite your referral partners on it, feature them. The beauty of having your own podcast is you can have amazing guests on your show. And Charlie, I bet you've had some amazing people as guests on your show, right?
Absolutely. And the magazine too.
And the magazine. So magazine newsletters, you can do either a physical or a digital newsletter. You can do direct mail campaigns depending on your business and whether that makes sense. You can go live. I was on a Facebook Live yesterday with somebody that is a celebrity dentist. She did Cardi B's teeth and a bunch of other celebrities. That's kind of her niche. And so she invited me on, and we did a Facebook Live, and that got out to both of our communities, right? Because just like this podcast right here, you're going to share this with your community. Guess what? I'm going to share it with mine as well. So this is a perfect example of a co-marketing campaign. Now, at hoa.com, we actually create an automated co-marketing campaign. We call it a home safe report. And basically what it is, when you become a certified pro with hoa.com, and you go to hoa.com, you click on that top right button, you'll see the link there. And once you do that, you become certified. Then you set up your profile, you invite your trusted team, and you can send out our home safe report automatically every month to every homeowner in your database. What it does is it sends them a monthly valuation report, kind of like a Zillow report on their home, but it's branded from you. It's got your photo, your name, your logo, your phone number. And so they know that that is a gift coming from you. And the beauty is you set it and you forget it. However, not only does it have you, it also features your referral partners. So on hoa.com, we help you formalize your referral partnerships. Again, when I was in the mortgage industry, I got a lot of my business from realtors, financial advisors, insurance agents, attorneys, CPAs, construction companies, right? And all of the other home service trades. And so you can feature them on your profile on HOA.com, and every month that co-marketing campaign gets automatically emailed out to every homeowner in your database. And it's just an awesome way to keep you top of mind while adding value to your referral partners.
Wow, that's incredible. I'm itching to get into HOA. I have one last question about your book. In there, you mentioned charity champions, and we all have, a place in our heart for giving, helping others. Why don't you share with us a little bit about being a charity champion?
Oh, you're going to get me excited because this is like my passion area, right? Nice. So cause-related marketing is a massive industry, quite frankly, and a phenomenon. And now you see it all the time. 10 years ago, not so much. But being a charity champion means sharing either the charity, the cause, maybe it's your church, whatever you're passionate about, sharing that you make a difference. You volunteer, you donate. Maybe you have a program where you're going to donate a certain number of dollars or a percentage of your sale for every new client or customer that comes on board. You're going to donate that to your favorite charity. Maybe you're going to do a food drive through your business and you share that on your social media. You post it on your website. You do a post or a newsletter out to your clients and customers. And you can even do that with your referral partners. So we do community impact events every month at HOA.com. We do it on a hyper local social basis. So literally within the neighborhoods that we serve, we help those neighbors put on events. Like we just did a back to school backpack drive. And I was talking to one of our mortgage loan officers last week, and she said she just had one of these in her local community, and it was awesome. They gave away 46 backpacks to kids that couldn't afford all the school supplies of families that are, just struggling to get by. But she had not only her, the mortgage lender, she had her realtor, her financial advisor, her insurance agent. She had a roofer and a home cleaner. So the 6 of them all did this together. So it created an event, a reason why the 6 of them were working together. It was feel good. They had like yard games, she said, and then they're going to schedule the next one, which is a barbecue and a water balloon war. So that one's not so much community impact, but just community connection. So look for ways in your business that you can give back and make sure that you're telling that story to your community, because 84% of consumers say they want to know what your business is doing to make a difference in the world.
That does feel good. I was just thinking that before you said that. So very cool. We're going to jump into HOA. Just give us about a 30-second break and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Charlie Stivers here with Brandon Barnum with HOA and ravingreferrals.com. And Brandon, real quick, I just wanted to share, I don't know if you were able to check it out in the magazine, but one of our give backs was we partnered up with a local school that was hosting an entrepreneur fair for 7th and 8th graders. And we put the word out with our Bitcoin community and did a fundraiser of about $500 in Bitcoin. So we went in with our phones and gave each of the kids $5 in Bitcoin, and they were buying stuff from their friends' little mini businesses. And it was just so fascinating to see how all that worked. And it was just such a great experience.
That's so cool, man. And Bitcoin's the future, right? Crypto is here to stay. And so I love that you're helping those young budding entrepreneurs buy and sell and trade in crypto. That's brilliant, man. What a great idea.
Yep.
And
Just
what a
shows
great
how easy
story
it
to
is. Oh yeah, and it was fascinating to see how easy it was for them to pay and receive payment in Bitcoin.
Smart.
So that was, proof of concept for all
Love
the
it.
business owners out there. All right, well, let's jump into HOA. It sounds like this was just a natural process for you. Why don't you give us a little bit of the story of how this all began with HOA.com?
Yeah. So after I left I spent 12 years in the mortgage industry. After I left the mortgage industry, I started focus on building tech platforms that helped people work by referral. So I built a company called Trusted Team. We ended up merging that with another company and creating refer.com. And we built that to over 5 million members around the world. And when we exited that in 2019, I was kind of sitting on the sidelines looking for the next. I started coaching somebody that owned a networking organization here in the Phoenix, Arizona market. And we said, okay, what if we could create like BNI, but for exclusively for professionals who served homeowners? And so that's really how it started. We created thehomeowneralliance.com. And that was our domain. And at one point we realized that's too long to fit on the side of the bus. And we were able to get HOA.com a couple of years back. But it started with the purpose of connecting homeowners to professionals they can trust. Now, what it's grown to, because we have HOA.com, is we're focused now on revolutionizing homeowner associations and transforming each of the 370,000 HOA communities out there in the US. Now, what people don't realize is that over half of all Americans who own a house live in an HOA, but most don't love their HOA. So we're on a mission to completely transform it. And we're building a platform that's like Nextdoor meets Angie's List meets Zillow. And the exciting thing when it comes to crypto is this is part of our future tech roadmap. It'll be a 2024 project, but we're going to integrate crypto as our referral rewards token, so that basically when people get affiliate fees or referral rewards from us, they're actually going to earn crypto. Isn't that cool, Charlie?
Yeah, these incentive models that these digital locations or properties can implement, giving back and rewarding people for engagement, for sharing, for giving referrals, utilizing these approved professionals on your platform. So that's a wonderful model.
Huge. And we're looking into the legal side of doing essentially an airdrop to every homeowner, because once in our database, we have the actual homeowners. We know who owns what home in America. We basically have every homeowner in America in a database. We know who owns what house. And so we're actually looking to do an airdrop, and this isn't finalized. I'm just telling you future plans, but to airdrop them crypto coins saying ownership has its benefits. Because you're a homeowner, you can actually be an owner in HOA.com, but that's future state.
Yeah, because it seems like, Nextdoor that you mentioned, the only way you get people to engage there is something that's a little drama related. So I imagine you're trying to eliminate as most of the drama as possible.
Yeah, I feel bad for anybody named Karen, because that's become a name associated with complaining. But that's what we hear, is that there's a lot of complaining Karens on Nextdoor. So we don't want to do that. But what we do want to do is create our affiliate program. We call it an ambassador program. We want to incentivize people to share what we're doing. And we have a 2-tier affiliate program. So as people sign up at HOA.com/win and become one of our ambassadors, they can earn referral rewards or affiliate fees just by sharing this with the professionals that they know. Because it's totally free for the homeowners. The professionals pay to be a member in our referral network. And one of the things, Charlie, I'm not sure if I've told you this, but we have a concierge service. So when somebody's moving, We take care of everything. We change their address for them, set up their utilities, internet, cable, water, power. We'll get them quotes on insurance, help them with moving, with storage, and basically everything that they need to do when they're moving into a new home. And it's totally free for the homeowner. We just do it to serve them. And it's a gift. It's included in our HOA.com Pro membership. So the pros pay less than $1 a day to be a part of our network. And that's one of the services that they get to offer for free to the homeowners that they serve.
Wow, sounds like you do everything except deliver the mail. That's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
we haven't figured out that one yet.
Right. Very cool. So why don't you talk a little bit about your model? It sounds like it's complementary for homeowners, and
Yeah.
then you obviously monetize through your professional partnerships.
Yeah, absolutely. We do two things. So people become a certified pro. Again, like you said, it's free to the homeowners. Professionals that are looking to grow their business, they go to HOA.com, click on that link at the top right to become a pro. There's an application process. We do background checks, and it's less than $1 a day. It's $357 for an annual subscription, and that includes their profile on our website, their trusted team, the ability to add people onto their profile, the concierge service that we talked about, the home safe report, digital co-marketing campaigns, all of that and more. And then we have, that also includes being the exclusive person in your industry for one community. So what that looks like is in each neighborhood in America, we're creating these community pages for all 370,000 HOAs. And within those communities, we select one realtor, one mortgage lender, one CPA, one dentist, one HVAC company to be that top trusted provider in that industry, in that community. We do have some people that want to license more than one community. So we make sure they have the bandwidth to serve that local area. So some people upgrade into more communities.
And real quick, will you talk a little bit about your history? I know you've been around for a while, but this is newer for a lot of people. Why don't you share that with us?
Yeah, we started the company. It's been almost 4 years now since we started the homeowneralliance.com. And so we're still claiming that we're in pre-launch mode, even though we have professionals. We've got about 15,000 professionals in our database, but we've done partnerships with like Thumbtack, for example. With that, we have over 250,000 home service pros that are integrated into our platform. And so we're doing a soft launch here for the rest of 2023, and then a major launch in January of 2024. So now is the perfect time for people to claim their communities, build their trusted team, and start winning more business today.
So for those professionals that have claimed their community, can they upgrade or have a larger exposure if they see a lot of value in this?
They can. We have different plans from the certified pro, we have an expert pro, and then a premier pro. So we have three main programs that people can upgrade to. And we don't usually do that until after they become a member, but then we help them based on what their goals are, what their footprint is. And some people have a team that are working with them, right? So depending on who's on their team, we help them and get them the right program for their fit.
And on a national basis, you talked about some of these big brands, like any other notables that you have as a part of your HOA community?
Yeah, we just did a partnership with Home Advantage, which is a nationwide real estate company. They're in 46 states. And we just did a partnership with a company called View by Hub. Hub International is the largest insurance brokerage site out there. And so that allows us to help a homeowner if they need help with insurance. They can go to HOA.com. This isn't live yet. We're doing the integration right now. So we haven't even done the press release. So you guys are getting breaking news right here. But that is going to allow homeowners to fill out one form and get quotes from like 10 different insurance providers without even having to talk to somebody. They'll be able to go through that process and get the best rate possible for their specific need.
So I went through it last night to test out the system or see what was updated for my home safe report. That's what you
Yep.
call it, right? Okay.
Yep.
And I was pleasantly surprised to see some of the professionals that I know in our community. So it's working.
It's
So
working.
yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're up in the Denver market. Denver we've been piloting this for the last couple of years, both in Phoenix and in Denver. So those markets are more mature than some of the others, but we've got people all over the country that are starting to make this part of their business and really growing their business through those partnerships and using hyperlocal social farming. So like I was just out in Destin, Florida, a couple weeks ago, and hopefully they didn't get hit too hard by the hurricane. But it was awesome. We have these ladies out there. We did their own referral partner blueprint just for them, but they have the trio powerhouse out in Destin, Florida, and they've licensed 50 communities out there, and they're building a really awesome team. So we've got different markets that are really growing, and we're looking forward, just like with refer.com, we grew that to 5 million members. This will be very much like that, except it'll be larger because we'll have all the homeowners involved. There's 74 million homeowners that live in HOAs, and we've got all of the data on all of them. So when we really go market this big time, it's going to grow fast.
So, one of the big strategies for any.com or online community is that stickiness. What are some of the other tools or things that are making us homeowners come back for more and visit HOA.com?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things that we've done is we've integrated events into our community pages and into that Home Safe report. The Home Safe report creates that monthly touch point where you're getting your update on your home's valuation. But quite frankly, you can go to HOA.com, find your community. You'll see on the top of HOA.com, you can search for a trusted pro. You can search for your neighborhood, your community, or you can search for your home value. Well, if you look at your community page, there's all kinds of cool events that are happening right there in your local neighborhood that are family friendly. And it's just, that's a great way to add more value. We also do a lot of content curation. We do some content creation, but we want to make our pros the stars, right? People that are in the local market that are doing podcasts, that are writing blog articles. We take their content and curate it out so it gets in front of more people.
That's a really nice value add for sure. Now, do you have a message board component to all this, or like how are they communicating?
Yeah, we haven't added a social component, honestly, because of what we see at Nextdoor and that complaining Karen concept, right? So it's something that we're studying. It will definitely be rolled out in 2024, but it's not something that we've done right now. It's one-way communication. We're not giving the people the ability to communicate back in sort of a social media platform as of yet, but that's coming in the future.
So talk about the future a little bit more. Like as a CEO, like where's your brain and your vision going with all this?
Right now, it's going to the property management companies, right? And we're creating a subsidiary, which is HOA.com Property Management, because what we know is as we start activating these communities, there's some boards and board members that love their property management company, and we just want to partner with them and help them do what they do best because they're serving their homeowners well. Now, there's others that aren't doing a great job, and we hear this all the time that people hate their HOA. Well, the reason they don't enjoy that HOA experience is because of the policing and some of the communication gaps that happen. So we believe there's a better way to HOA. We believe that every board meeting should be on Zoom or online like this, that should be recorded transcribed, and available for every single homeowner in their neighborhood. We believe that every vote should be blockchain based. It should be recorded and transparent so that everybody sees that everybody actually has a voice. I mean, let's talk about election integrity. Side note, real quick. I've been saying for years, Charlie, that our actual election process in our country should be blockchain based, because if you were able to validate and verify that the vote that you cast was recorded for the candidate that you voted for, wouldn't you feel better about the integrity of our elections? So we think that should happen on a national, statewide, and a local basis, even down to your community. So that's part of what we're building. And we know that when we create that better way to HOA and we control the communication, now we can bring events into the community. Our tagline is connected community. We want to bring neighbors together. So when we do our ice cream socials or our community barbecue or even our back to school backpack drive, it brings people together. And I like to tell the story. I was just at a neighborhood barbecue not long ago. There was about 50 people that came out for this. The realtor and the mortgage lender had hosted it, but people brought their own meats to throw on the grill. And the coolest part was I was looking around at one point and the kids are playing basketball, cornhole, they were playing kickball. And as I looked around with about 50 people there, not one person was on their cell phone. Everybody was just getting to know their neighbors. And that's the type of connected community. That's the world that we want to live in. So that's the world that we're going to create.
Yeah, and I'm glad you touched on the voting system, because we know how possible that really is, and it's going to be part of the future, because you can't lie on the blockchain. It's recorded. You can't hack it. So fascinating. Thank you for bringing that up. The other thing I was thinking of, and I just spaced it at the moment. With the other side events that have come up because of HOA, we formed a Patriots group thanks to some of your leadership within HOA. Yep. I mean, I don't think it's an actual HOA event, but it's sponsored by you guys. You partnered with some of us here in town. Right. Share some ideas that you see kind of sprouting off of the HOA community.
Yeah, so there's two that have kind of come out of HOA.com. First of all, we're passionately patriotic. We're a veteran-owned company. My co-founder served in the Army. Our COO was a captain in the Navy for 30 years, reported to the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and helped to lead a group of 412,000 troops and a $518 billion budget. Our director of coaching is former Army as well. So we love our veterans. And we bring people together that are patriots and veterans in networking events so they can connect. And that happens in different markets around the U.S. The other thing that's come out is, I'm a Christian, I'm a believer, and there's some others that want to connect with other Christians. So the Christian Business Alliance was also born out of HOA.com. Now it is its own 501c3 charity, with the goal of creating fellowship and marketplace ministry and helping Christians buy from and do business with one another. But those two initiatives both came out of HOA.com.
Love it. And I don't know if you heard, but I actually hosted one of the Patriot events at our office.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, it was cool. So we had a double booking it was like a bar, one of their rentable spaces. Yep. But we got double booked, so we had it here. But it turned out great because this was more of a quiet, professional environment. So we actually got to really connect as a group. And the conversations that came up were very powerful and nonpartisan, which was awesome.
That's awesome.
So
as it should be.
We talked about issues that were meaningful to all of us, and where we can all get involved and create that synergy as a group, and not have it be, any, party or, or politics involved. It was just more issue based. So we
As it
appreciated
should be.
that.
And you should be able to talk to your neighbors and other people about the issues that are important to you. So that's awesome,
Mhm.
Charlie. Well, thank you for hosting and thank you for having me on today. I've got another podcast that is starting right now that I need to jump to. But I'm just so grateful that we had this time. And thank you guys that are watching. This has really been a fun conversation, Charlie. So I hope it's added value to everybody that's watching.
Absolutely. Thanks, Brandon. See you soon.
My pleasure. Talk soon. Take care.